Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Buckles, would you mind leading us?
Be happy to. Pledge allegiance to the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have Reverend Ted Stackpole from First Assembly to lead our invocation.
Would you bow your heads with me? Lord, we thank you for such a great opportunity today to seek you in our service in this community. Lord, we just open up today and we pray for these storm victims today. God, we pray today for a quick recovery, increased support for them. And Lord, we just pray for our state, Lord, as we embrace for a possible storm. And God, we just ask that you'd be with the decision makers and all our agencies, helping them to prepare. Lord, we just ask today that you would help people to make wise decisions when it comes to evacuation and sheltering. And finally, God, we pray today, God, for your wisdom and your grace and your unity to be upon these commissioners as they work together to lead the educators and students in our beloved community. And I just ask today, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. And may the Lord lift up his countenance on you and give you peace. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay, our first presentation will be from the Florida Healthy School District. If they would like to come up. Sina Zipper.
Yes, good job.
Well, I taught school for 25 years.
Years of announcing the graduates.
graduations, yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't seen it spelled with a K, I bet.
No,
before.
I haven't, but I kind of thought maybe.
You did a good job. Good afternoon. My name is Sina Zipperer, and I'm the HIV, STD, and Teen Pregnancy Prevention Coordinator in the Office of Healthy Schools at the Florida Department of Education. And I'm really happy to be here because Putnam County School District chose to be a part of our project in 2013 to work with us to impact HIV, STD, and teen pregnancy among your students in the county. As a member of the Florida Coordinated School Health Partnership, it's my pleasure to present the silver level Florida Healthy School District flag to Putnam County School District. The Florida Coordinated School Health Partnership is a grassroots organization that advocates for school health issues and recognizes excellence among our Florida school districts. Members of the Coordinated School Health Partnership represent not-for-profits such as the Florida PTA, the Florida Academy of Pediatrics, the Cancer and Heart Association, Florida Action for Healthy Kids, as well as professional associations of hospitals, optometrists, school nurses, health educators, and insurers. Now you may be wondering, how did you get this award? Well, it's not an easy process. It's through completing the Florida School, the Healthy School District, a self-assessment tool. And the self-assessment tool is based on several important areas: sustainable infrastructure, policy, programs, and practices identified from national and state guidelines, from best practices, and from Florida statutes. 2009 was the first year that the assessment was available for Florida school districts, and I have to say Putnam County was one of the leaders because you all completed the assessment the first time in 2010. And since then you've made some really great progress, and so now I'm going to tell you a little bit about that progress. In 2010, in the health services area, the district started out with a level of 70%, and has increased to 78%. Nutrition services and education, through the leadership of Nikki Hawthorne, your district score has increased from 77% to 86%. Finally, in the area you've made the most significant improvement in the last few years is employee wellness. And in the employee wellness area, you've improved from 59% to an impressive 70%. And that speaks volumes as to the emphasis the district places on your teachers and school staff. Now, as we look forward to the next assessment period, which will be in 2019, there's a couple of recommendations I would like to make. I think the district really needs to emphasize working to improve in the areas of health education and physical education. And focusing on improvement in these two areas could help you improve district graduation rates. Also, keep in mind, and it could help you move into the gold level. Right now you're silver, you could move into gold if you work on those areas, health education and physical education. And keep in mind that in the future, those districts that achieve the gold level will not get just a flag anymore. There will be another marketing tool that we will award to the school districts that get gold, that achieve gold. And it will help your community understand the emphasis that Putnam County School District places on health of students and staff. So it is very important. And we look forward to continuing to support your efforts, and we'll do that through helping you with resources, technical assistance, and advocacy. Now we're going to get to award the flag. So if Nikki and Maria will come up, and we'll take time to take a photo. And I remember you, Jane, from the Superintendent's Association conference last year. Weren't you there?
Yes, I was.
I presented
it.
it.
The ones with the school board members too?
Yes.
I'm
Last
sure we did.
December 6th.
Yes.
Couldn't miss
Yep,
her 'cause she
I remember.
Shannon, you can take our pictures, their pictures for the district. Yeah, yeah.
Where's Justin? We're not taking other pictures.
Okay.
Y'all let Rick try to, while you're doing that, Shannon, see if he can find somebody else. Not that you can't do a wonderful job.
Let her take the picture.
You go ahead. Never mind.
Well, since Kirk's not here, we haven't had anybody.
You can take it. We can.
Well, Justin was doing it. Did she say hush, Nikki? I know. I don't care. I just never pictured Shannon as a photographer.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
I think Thomas went to get a photographer, but I don't think we need one now, huh? I do.
No, we might have other things we
Just
need
in
to take
case.
We might.
pictures of.
We might.
Okay, next on our agenda is the presentation of Healthier U.S. School Challenge Awards to Kelly Smith Elementary and Middleton Burney Elementary by Heather Miller from Healthier U.S. School Challenge Specialist. If our principals, do you want them to come up? yet?
I can read the award and then have them
That
come
sounds
up with
great.
the presentation. How does that sound? Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Heather Miller. I am the Healthier U.S. School Challenge Specialist for Region 2. Very new to your region, but super excited to be a part of it. And if you will allow me to please read the awards here on behalf of our office. So for Putnam County Public Schools, the United States Department of Agriculture's Healthier U.S. School Challenge is a voluntary certification, and it's an initiative recognizing schools that demonstrate a commitment to advocate healthier school environments through the promotion of nutrition and physical activity. All awardees of this certification have surpassed minimum meal service requirements and excelled in nutrition education, physical education, and all other areas of wellness and food service management. When the Healthier U.S. School Challenge was adopted under the Let's Move initiative in 2010, monetary incentives were made available for this prestigious award. Each school that receives a silver level award will earn $1,000 for their outstanding efforts. Schools will also be awarded a banner and plaque for display from the United States Department of Agriculture, as well as recognition on the Federal Team Nutrition website. Schools will also receive a certificate and a banner from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, and their successes are highlighted in a press release from our Commissioner, Adam Putnam. The Healthier U.S. School Challenge application process requires collaboration between the Food Services Department, administration, teachers, and wellness champions within each school. It also helps to reinforce the importance of physical activity, physical education, good nutrition, and the presence of nutrition education in Putnam County schools. The district school meals are already compliant with the strict nutrition standards set by federal regulations, but Putnam County goes a step further. Kelly Smith and Middleton Burney have implemented breakfast in the classroom and have significantly increased breakfast participation. The Healthier U.S. School Challenge process also helps ensure that all foods sold to school students on the campus outside of the school meals are, including those foods sold a la carte and in vending machines, are rich in vitamins, minerals, and whole grains, and lower in calories, sodium, and fat. The mission of Putnam County Schools is that Putnam County has a very successful wellness program with an active SWAC groups and healthy school teams. The Putnam County Comprehensive Wellness Policy shows the commitment and dedication to the students and to wellness. You believe that balance is essential and that it must include nutrition education, physical activity, other school-based activities that are designated and designed to promote student wellness. Wellness is very important to Putnam County Schools and to the school board. We have wellness coordinators, as mentioned before, at every school, as shared with me from Nikki Hawthorne, and our wellness team promotes good nutrition and physical activity at their locations. The Healthier U.S. School Challenge Award is a testament to that positive learning culture. Congratulations to all the awardees for a job well done. That would be Kelly Smith Elementary and Middleton Burney Elementary. So if they would like to come up. Oh, okay, great.
And Stephen's here to take pictures too.
That's Tracy Taylor.
Sure that we have them. Silver.
Oh, please block me.
That'll be an improvement.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy squinting and reading without my
At least she rolls
glasses.
her eyes and all.
I would prefer to be blocked.
You gotta turn it on.
It is on. I'm gonna switch cards. All right.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good job, Shannon, to the rescue. Thank you.
So CPA stands for Certified Photographic Assistant.
Those that work so hard for it.
Stephen should be stepping in momentarily with.
I couldn't, you should tell me that earlier.
Just those two?
Yay!
Good?
And 3, 2, 1. Thank you, guys.
We have one more school. We have I'm gonna grab this award for these guys.
So exciting.
That would be Morgan's mother.
And everything. Well, yeah. They need to be military roles.
A couple more of those little peppermint patties.
mints. Y'all need any mints?
Black pumpkin spice, call that. Good.
Next on our agenda is a City of Palatka Proclamation for Attendance Awareness Month by our mayor and former Palatka High School graduate Terrell Hill.
Yay.
And
Good
star
afternoon.
quarterback.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to present a proclamation for our Attendance Awareness Month, and the proclamation reads as follows. Whereas an estimated 5 million to 7.5 million U.S. students miss nearly a month of school each year, and whereas absenteeism and its ill effects start early, 1 in 10 kindergarten and first grade students are chronically absent. Poor attendance can influence whether children read proficiently by the end of the 3rd grade or be held back. By 6th grade, chronic absence becomes a leading indicator that a student will drop out of high school. Whereas research shows that chronic absenteeism, defined as missing 10% of school or 18 days or 2 days per month, negatively affects a student's academic performance and is the same whether the days are excused or unexcused. And whereas low-income students are 4 times more likely to be chronically absent than others, often for reasons beyond their control, such as unstable housing, unreliable transportation, and lack of access to health care. Whereas when students improve their attendance rates, they improve their academic prospects and chances for graduating. Attendance improves when schools engage students and parents in positive ways, and when schools provide mentors for chronically absent students. And whereas September is Attendance Awareness Month, and the Putnam County School District will be promoting attendance during the month and the year, engaging students in contests, events, and activities designed to promote attendance and engagement. Now, therefore, I, Terrell Hill, Mayor of the City of Palatka, Florida, together with the members of the Palatka City Commission, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2017 as I'm Showing Up, Attend, and Achieve Month in the City of Palatka in order to promote Attendance Awareness Month, and we urge students and parents to participate in the appropriate school-sponsored activities such as a School Spirit Day, College Day, and Career Choice Day, because attendance equals engagement. Hashtag attend and achieve, and witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Palatka, Florida, on this 5th day of September 2017. Terrell Hill Mayor, Commissioners Mary Lawson Brown, Rufus Bohr, Justin Campbell, and Tammy McCaskill Williams. And we'd like to present this to the district.
Thank you.
Mayor, appreciate that.
Look,
Let me sit down here.
Trying to document everything.
Got proof.
Thank you, guys.
I want to point out too that the mayor read a proclamation at Friday night at our football game, our dedication. Bennett Cooper Field, we thank you for that, proclaiming, Bennett Cooper Field at the Veterans Memorial Stadium. So
He-
That was very.
he really has our local in-town ball fields looking very good for the kids too. We appreciate that. It's
We
wonderful.
appreciate you partnering with us, Mayor Hill. Yep.
I have not received any public comment cards, so we're moving right over public comment. Next is our consent agenda, and before I ask the board members, G2 has been removed from the agenda. It will be discussed at a later date. Ms. Jorgensen, would you like to pull anything?
Yes, E5, F3, and G8, please.
E5, F3, and G8. Okay, Ms. Cummings?
E5. I had just, D3 and H1.
D3
H1.
and H1. Okay. Mr. Buckles?
I'm fine.
I can't pull anything from the consent agenda.
Oh, well, I'm not fine. I'm fine with this.
Okay.
Okay.
And Ms. Gilliard?
Yes, that's F2. And F3 has already been mentioned. And that's it for me.
Okay. Would
Madam
someone make a
Chair,
motion?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda minus D3, E5, F2, F3,
I second that.
G8,
Oop.
and H1.
I second that.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
D3, it looked really exciting. I just didn't know, Dr. Sterncy, the Imagine Learning, is that something that it looked like kind of a platform that maybe would replace, we have one, is that something we're looking to maybe replace a different one? Or?
France, we're actually using them already,
Okay.
right? And by the way, this trip is completely paid for by Imagine Learning.
Okay.
Everything.
But is it something we're gonna use to replace iReady or another software if we purchase it, or have we already purchased it? I looked at it online, it looks really like a great, platform, but it didn't,
We actually used to use it at Middleton Burney Elementary School.
Okay.
They were actually a site that was a premier site for them. We are piloting it using SIG $4, and you guys approved that, I think, last board meeting at Palaca High School. And we are looking at something for secondary schools.
so it's just secondary.
Well, it actually runs the gamut from kindergarten up, but we are looking at it for the secondary schools currently, since we do not have any other platform for them.
Okay, so is it more, I mean, because looking at it, it looks like it's gonna do a lot of, assessment, like, is that, and,
It also has instruction as well. So this'll, for the Imagine Learning platform that we're using at Palaca High School, there's a lot that goes with this. There's a reading portion, there's a math portion. What we're doing at Palaca High School is specifically for math, for all students, and it has an assessment piece that then puts them into an instructional core that they're using during their math program,
okay.
so during instruction.
So is it gonna be more as far as district assessments? Is that something, my concern is it gonna mean more testing on the computer?
It has to test on the computer so that they know where students place. And then after that, once they place into the curriculum, then they move forward.
So since we already have iReady, is
You
it?
do not have iReady at secondary
this
schools at high schools.
Right, so this is just secondary.
What we are currently using for SIG $4 for is only at Palaca High
Okay.
School. I do know that some of the schools were working on that UNOSIG grant today,
Yeah.
and other I shouldn't say secondary, other high schools were writing them in to that grant
Is
to
it
use for
something
math
you foresee
instruction.
that it would be used across the board in elementary and secondary? So
We only if we got rid of a different platform, you wouldn't do both.
Right, that's kind of
Yeah.
what I was thinking. As long as I just didn't want to make it, gotcha.
No, it's
Okay.
not a duplication of effort.
So right now, it's Palaca High, and where else is it going to be used?
I know that Interlochen High School was writing it into their part of UNISIG, but that has not come through yet.
And all students do it, or just the,
In this case, in Palaca High School's case, it is math students.
okay. All right, I make a motion to approve item D3.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And that's a misprint. She's an assistant superintendent, not assistant principal. Just so
We
you
have
know.
That, yeah, we
We
figured
haven't
that out.
changed that. Okay, E5?
Okay, here's where I'm confused again on negotiations, I guess.
Can I speak to this one?
Why don't we have to do this in negotiations? It's teacher salary.
Miscellaneous salary schedule is not negotiated. This is a separate opportunity that teachers can do if they want to do. It's not part of their contract. It's something outside, and we set a rate. But I was planning on pulling this also, and I'll come back if you have further questions. I want to pass out an additional change to it that just came to me. On this miscellaneous salary schedule, I'm passing out a new one. We made changes just on the 21st Century Grant After-School Program after clarification from Dr. Coleman on what the grant would allow and support dollar-wise. We changed the rate of pay offered for bus drivers, and we added the opportunity for bus attendants also. And that's on the second page of that, down here. The only thing that added that to begin with for today was this 21st Century Grant, and this is the way the auditors tell us to do grant-funded opportunities, is to put them on the miscellaneous salary schedule. But since Sharon published that for me, I got word that we were going to change the rate of pay for the bus drivers, and that we were going to add the opportunity for bus attendants also. The grant allows for 10 drivers and 3 attendants at 2 hours per day, 4 days a week. But the miscellaneous salary schedule, as well as support, are not negotiated salary schedules.
And this isn't the first time this has ever been done either. We've done it
Isn't the
years
first
ago.
time.
Yeah, we've had,
Miscellaneous salary schedules brought, it does,
For the board, I know that, but I want to make sure we're not doing
Okay.
something that's supposed to be
do you
negotiated.
need to speak to that,
Mark
Mark?
Modell would set his hair on fire and be jumping up and down.
We have agreements in place that dictate how grant-funded opportunities
There you go.
are handled. I think what's in there in the 21st century, there is a little bit of issue, but we can discuss it.
Okay.
Jurisdiction, if you've been told to work that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so it's pulled for
Are you-
today.
I just passed out new ones. If there's any extra, if y'all would give that to Mark,
So
the
has
bus drivers
this,
at 17.
Rhonda, to get this straight, is this coming to us now, or is it still pulled and we're to look at this?
It was, I was going to pull it too and replace what you have with this, with only the change of adding attendance and changing the rate of pay for the bus drivers. That's what I was instructed this morning.
Okay.
They had come to,
Well, it can, or we can vote on it now.
well, because the bus drivers are already driving and it will affect their first paychecks and everything. That's why it's coming to you today.
I would like to make a motion that we approve this as boards have in past years.
Ms. Jorgensen might have further questions. I'm not
Okay,
sure
that's fine.
Mark has further questions.
Grant funding opportunities should not be at, they must be negotiated if they are at less than employees' regular rate of pay. The issue is that grant funding opportunities, if they're going to be at less than the regular rate of pay, must be negotiated. And for the bus drivers at 17, that could be less than the regular rate of pay for some of the drivers. It depends on which drivers, I guess, but
Depending on which drivers. Well, I think the instructional, all of them are less than the regular rate of pay. So I don't know if someone else can come up. Is Dr. Coleman here? These are just the rates that I was given from being written into the grant.
You gotta pay, you wanna pay the people for the work.
$11.83 an hour for bus drivers. Paraprofessionals were still at $12.50. Teachers were at $25 an hour. We also had route coordinators at $25 an hour, clerical support at $15 per hour, mechanics at $28.85. I'm sorry, bus drivers were only $10 an hour last time. I just so happened to have that one here too, because I provided this to Dr. Coleman when she was seeing how to get the approval to pay before the board.
We have a motion and a second. I'd like to just call for a vote, if y'all don't mind.
Kathy, I have a couple questions. Maintenance and upkeep of all athletic fields at the high school, I guess that's a separate subcontractor. We don't maintain them ourselves.
Let me find where you,
Athletic directors do this.
Some do, some don't. They have different.
it can be one of our employees. This is another something above and beyond if they so choose to do it, but it could be outside the employee
So
also.
if it's an employee, they're gonna get paid to maintain the football field, extra.
I believe, but it wouldn't be during their on their own time. Yes, ma'am. And I know that one's been in there for several years.
But
The only changes I made today was the grant
kind of agree
funding.
with Kathy in essence that it needs to be up to the principal to make sure it's on their own time and not during regular working hours, that they're doing that and being paid
Yes, sir.
double. Yeah. And I think the principals will watch it.
They just take care of it during the workday.
I thought they did at Palaca High School.
I'm pretty sure this is something that Mr. Roach
Some contract
worked
out
on and got, yeah.
certain issues and certain things.
Was it something we could ask for a survey and ask each high school to tell us how they do it?
We
Yes.
need more clarification on this.
John
Sorry.
Chastain, would you know offhand how many, I'd love to call on you because you love to
Yeah,
talk.
because he doesn't ever want to talk.
Since you,
They contract out all the fertilizing on the football fields, that's probably what that's for. Jim Roach did that.
Yeah, Jim really did.
The athletic directors take care of the mowing, but they got some guy hired that does the fertilizing.
$100 a month per school for fertilizer, I'll do it for less. Seriously.
I can
that's
certainly look
36.
into and see who's being paid, whether it's through accounts payable or payroll.
It's
I'll
not
find
even
that out for
a
you.
moot point, maybe it's not being
Yeah.
utilized.
believe it, well, fertilizer, where you go back to the old Homeland Security stuff about stacking up fertilizer on school sites and having that stuff available where fuel could get on it, then you got a potential bomb situation. So you got all that.
Safety issues.
It's safety and being licensed, it's all crazy when it deals with public
Okay.
schools.
So
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't have to look into that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay.
One more question though. On page 2, minority overrepresentation project, CLFC personnel. That's a grant.
Yes,
By
well,
itself.
it is, we pay for it out of the general fund. That's one of the district initiatives. That's the, Michelle Garner, is it, that's
Yeah,
our safe
JCPO.
schools.
Yeah.
It used to be federal funds, then it became a state grant, and then several years ago, the funding was done away, but the district has kept that on, all the services that are provided, so it is out of the general fund each year. I think it's about $148,000 a year, It's on that Excel, general fund Excel spreadsheet that I give.
That was
It's
one of
the
those items we
initiatives.
discussed in the budget
We
workshop.
did discuss doing away with
Item
that.
we considered cutting, but
It's too important.
yeah, y'all decided to keep it, so we kept it on
Yes.
there.
That's correct.
Okay. And even though these positions qualify for FRS, still no negotiating necessary.
Let's see. And I believe they have to qualify for the FRS because of the time period.
So we're talking here. Our later compensation for additional grant funded employment opportunities will be negotiated with PFT prior to the submission of the grant application if it's less than the employees are already. And we haven't had that conversation.
Haven't had that.
previously.
Okay.
So,
I would assume, yeah.
Talking about something.
Thomas, that's probably gonna be something I'll have to look into in negotiations. In the midst okay, can you read it out?
In the instructional and classified contracts, on the salary schedules, there's a line that says the hourly rate of compensation for additional grant-funded employment opportunities will be negotiated with PFTU prior to the submission of the grant application if compensation will be at less than the employee's hourly rate of pay. And we may have had some agreement in place with the last time 21st Century was here, but we haven't discussed it this time.
Because it's more.
And I'm
Yeah,
not
so
sure,
that
you know,
needs to be
when
decided.
Dr. Coleman was
You
writing
don't
the grant,
address,
whether.
you don't address whether it's more, you just address whether it's less. Is any of that less?
It could be, for the bus drivers,
be on
it's
the bus drivers, and
$17
that's-
an
and
hour.
that's-
I
and
just
the
hate it for
highest
the
rate
people
of
that have
bus
already
drivers
earned
is
it. They're not
17.
gonna
That
get
are already
paid.
working, not to get paid.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Well, for bus drivers, what you have before you is $17 an hour, and if they're the very top of the scale, they get $17.53 an hour.
If they're the top of the scale.
We
So
still
I don't know
have
if
a,
that's something we can address today, or
So chances
Dr.
are
Coleman's
we
not
may
here.
happen if I
She was the one
have
that sent
to
the
scale.
email with the $17 an hour.
well, can't, Mark, isn't that something you could work out if we go ahead and pay the people that have earned it? If they've already worked and they've already earned it, and we go ahead and make the motion and pass it, can't you still work out those details?
You'll probably be harming a lot of your people because most of them aren't that high. That's the very top of the scale. So, you know, if you have a bus driver that typically makes $14 an hour, this is an opportunity for them to make $17, but if we want to haggle on that language and go there, we can.
That's not me that
Yeah,
wants
that's
to do
not
that.
our
That's Mark that
decision.
wants to go there. I want
It's
to pay
$1
the
a
people.
day, because they're
You know,
2 hours,
I'm-
53 cent, $1.06 a day.
I'm just trying to make sure we follow contract language. You know,
I do
this-
too, but I wanna make
the
sure our
ideal
employees
situation
are-
would have been that we talk about it before the grant was submitted, so we make sure they're following contract language. That would have been the
But
ideal
since it's
situation.
just the drivers, it
So-
should be easier as if it were everybody that we had to look at.
I've never seen this complaint before, but y'all do what you want to do, but we can vote up or down if you want to.
We can vote up, it's,
Whatever Mr. Douglas suggests.
Mark, what page were you reading
I'm not
from?
sure quite understand.
Mark, what page were you reading from?
The classified contract.
Yeah, what page of the class?
This is page,
It's just crazy.
it's on the, right now I'm looking at the, on the district website, but salary schedules are posted. And again, it's,
102?
and again, my question came up when the original document that you had in front of you was 1183, which is the bottom of the bus driver salary
right,
schedule.
right. It's only the top.
And so that's,
And Sharon should be able
so
to
it's, again,
let
I'm not
us
sure
know
whether
real
that's the-
quick which drivers those are.
It
It may end up being two people.
Well, they wouldn't bring it
It's
to you if the
$1.06
people
a
hadn't
day.
earned it
2
and
hours,
we didn't owe it
53
to them.
cents.
Anyway, it's just,
Okay,
If they're-
this is really only an issue if the
Then we
union
can
objects,
easily
but if
compensate
you object,
them
I don't know the
for,
remedy
their
because
next
it was supposed to be
check
done
or
prior to
cut
the
them a
submission of the
separate
grant.
check.
And that was
So
not
we can
done.
easily
So
fix
if you
that.
object,
here's the issue, if we don't object, then we're letting it go, and it's, you know, future grant submissions can be made without, you know, kind of setting a precedent that grant submissions can be made without negotiating those things, you know.
so what would you like to do?
Dan, any advice?
I guess, I mean, I think that this is a good thing, and I'm not disagreeing with that. I think the best,
This
in
is-
the event, just bear with me 1 second. When we get ready to write grants like this, it would be nice just to say, hey, we have this really great opportunity, can we sit down and write an MOU? And I'm Tammy Whitaker, I'm the service unit director who works with PFT, just so you know. It would be nice to sit down and we could agree to an MOU immediately so that we don't have to come to, oh, no, you can't do this right now because it's it would be considered possibly an unfair labor practice, and that's not what you want. This is a good thing for employees. We just don't want to negatively impact someone else, and we just want to be able to have that conversation. So,
Well,
I mean, we come to the table this week, so, on Thursday.
I'm trying to understand if you're talking about the minority representation grant, or are you talking about the bus drivers?
The bus drivers.
I was talking about the bus drivers.
Yeah.
And to me, this looks like form over substance, something we can work out in a conversation of 5 seconds or of 3 minutes, and you're not paying people who have already worked and earned the money that may need it to feed their family this week. But that's up to the majority of the board if they want to vote, or the attorney wants us to let us vote on it, whatever. I don't see it as being a hindrance. I just see it as being.
I don't want to be a hinder in the whole thing. It's the best thing for employees. I just think that if Mark is okay and we can agree to it, fine. But in the future, when we come
Right.
to something like this,
We need to make that very clear.
It's important to bring us in on things that affect terms and conditions of employment, wages, hours, terms and conditions of employment. This impacts
That
those decisions.
should have been done.
Right.
And in the future, it would be helpful for Dr. Coleman in those particular types of situations. But it sounds like we did not even know what the
She may not have known.
schedule was going to be until after the grant was awarded.
Right.
They might not give those details in advance for us to be able to come and participate in the MOU discussion like we would all want to do. But it sounds like everybody's in agreement for the benefit of those who could benefit, that we can proceed forward and, with that mutual understanding. So I think it's okay for the board to vote on this and move things along so that the people who have been doing services in furtherance of this grant can be paid.
Okay, I just have one more comment before we vote, please. That JCPO program, look at him looking at me. Do you know about the 3 strikes? 3 arrests and the kids get off. It's wonderful because then they don't have a record, supposedly. I'm voting no on it. I do not support this program. It's a 3 strike, so that, again, when the kids get in, am I wrong? When the kids get arrested, or should get arrested, they don't, up to 3 times, so that they don't have a record in school, and this helps.
Can you address that, Travis? Or you know
You
what
don't know
she's-
enough about it? No, I'm sorry, because you were like looking at me. Well,
You're talking about the minority representation, over-representation.
CLFC?
I'm talking about the program that Michelle Garner,
Yeah, CLFC.
that says JCPO on the folder.
Thomas, excuse me. Travis, can you address that?
Yeah, they do other things, but I'm not supporting anybody who's gonna give 3 passes on crime in our schools.
Well, it's not strictly a pass, though. It's
It might be in the SWET
activities in lieu of a criminal charge for a
Like
child.
sweat,
3
stuff like
times.
that.
I believe that's actually changing, that it can be multiple times.
More than 3.
But in the past, there had been, serious felony charges were not, not an option to do that, but yes.
Yeah.
But they do
Misdemeanors
also
and-
do the parenting classes, the CLFC classes with
Yeah,
the
they do all
parents, the
kinds of
SWET
stuff.
program. There are juvenile court liaison. They help run our SIT team for truancy. They do a lot.
If you didn't do it, you'd have 15-year-olds doing, for,
We've
Out on
used
the
that.
street with no help.
yeah. I mean,
We've used CLFC for years in lieu of
I believe it came
out-of-school
about,
suspension.
Mr. Buckles, did it come about the time that you were called out as a superintendent on our arrest rates?
We did, and it was a way to try to help, instead of the kids just wandering the communities, to try and building a record where they could never get a job or do anything.
And it helps the arrest rate.
That go, well, that
Well,
was the
it's
state
it's
that
also
did it. It
the
wasn't
PAL
the
programs
county.
run under it.
To me, what we're teaching the children, the students, are there are no consequences for your actions. Oh, yeah, mom has to come to a class and this and that, but if you commit a crime, you have no consequences for your, not legally, you don't, anyway.
Well, I don't
3
have-
times or more.
I don't have a problem with expelling children from school for serious disciplinary action.
Right.
But when you're talking felonies and you're dealing with young teenagers when they get in the hands of the SWEAT officers and the people that, with creating lasting family connections, they have a support system that if that doesn't save them, they're not going to make it. Ever, never. But they get out there and they sweat and they work and they pick up trash and stinking garbage you've ever seen, and they work hard. And it's.
Is it maybe something we could ask
I didn't
Michelle to
invent it.
do a presentation
I
or
think
a
that'd be
workshop
great.
so we
Sure,
could
she would love
understand?
to. I don't
I
want
know
to give.
she's asked us in the past to come to the board and do a presentation. Is that something we could maybe
I
ask?
think that would be great. I don't want to give you false information because I
Right.
don't remember the
Kind of like a
statistics.
bigger
off-
solution center.
Even
You
better
know,
than
they're-
that,
They're
she-
trying to teach them.
But, and
She
their
did a tour
recidivism
recently.
rate
Yeah.
is amazing
Yeah, I was
as
just-
far
It
as the
is.
kid,
It is.
right.
It really is.
It's one of the best programs around, but I will say that, you know, I was like, and I'm still like Kathy, if somebody does something bad, you know, they need to be severely punished. But there has to, you know, and we were called down because we had a very high arrest rate of students, and the state worked with us, and this program did come about, and it's been a very successful program. And if you study and hear from them on the report on the recidivism, that puts these kids back into regular society, I think you'd find it be extremely worthwhile and beneficial. But
Is
that's
that
just me.
maybe, Dr. Cerncy, we could email Michelle and ask her to do a short presentation? I just
Yeah,
don't,
Travis can-
clarification
yeah.
would be a really nice,
Yeah, we can do that. yeah.
Okay.
And the
Thank
PAL program and all that takes place over there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah,
uh,
we
So
could,
much.
toured that
so much.
recently, and they do a great job.
And if you've ever been to
Okay.
truancy court,
oh, yeah.
what the work they do with that truancy court is just amazing.
Phenomenal.
It really, really is.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Okay.
There's been a motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, next is F3.
F2.
Oh, F2. Oh, I left, yeah, F2, sorry.
Okay. All right, my question really is just, where will this $50,099 come from?
It was already budgeted.
The increase, so it does not affect our general funds?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
We receive each year a Safe School categorical, and it has not been enough for several years now to completely fund our school resource officers program, so the general fund has picked up the difference. The total Safe School categorical is $297,269. The general fund will be picking up $146,320, and that was all in part of, yeah, that's already budgeted and everything. And this was also another thing that was put on the table to make the categorical meet the dollars that, you know, to do this and make it meet the categorical dollars. But in talking it through in our budget workshops, it was something that everyone wanted to keep on the board, and we got the dollar amount. It has to do with the officers did get a raise the past spring. Their health insurance went up, and the state of Florida retirement contribution went up. And so Travis was able to get me the dollar amount early enough on that we were able to put that amount into the budgeting process. Okay.
All right, just,
And our priority was we wanted to make sure we had an SRO in every
right, I
secondary
mean,
school.
you get an argument there, I was just
We had to pay
concerned
more for
about
it.
the general fund.
Right.
All right, I'm good.
They're there.
All right, so, motion, yes.
I make a motion to approve item F2.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Now F3.
That's me. I don't know if there's gonna be anybody here that knows what this is.
Thomas can address that.
Yeah, I mean, what it looks like to me after reading it is that the Hanley Center Foundation got a grant. And now they have to find school districts to give them free office space and, we provide staff.
We do too.
And in-kind donation of office space. And then they're gonna give us some numbers of some kind.
Honestly, I don't have much more information beyond that.
I don't see what's in it for us.
And also, I'd like to say that I went back to board docs just to review these two documents, these two MOUs when you pulled it, and there was only one uploaded in board docs, and that was the one dated April 5th. The one that's dated June 16th, which is something else that goes along with this grant, because it's two different things that they're asking us to do. You don't have that information in front of you. I'd like to actually pull this until the next board meeting. And then at that time, we can make a determination as a team whether we want to go forward with this or not.
Okay,
But-
thank you very much.
Okay.
I make a motion, we table item F3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Now we have G8. G8 Summit.
Yeah, this was a little, I think Andy, yeah. I just want to clarify in my own brain what this is. We have some severely handicapped kids that require services that we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
to provide.
Yes, ma'am. Andy Burnett, ESC Director. It would normally been in the summer, and I inadvertently left it off, so
Right.
included it here. And yes, it's mainly for autistic students.
And we hired these people to come in and work with our autistic
Yes, ma'am.
students.
And
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
doing an amazing job.
Yes, ma'am. And they help assist our teachers too when our teachers are having issues as far as
Well,
a
and they
strategy
train
to
them,
use.
too.
Absolutely.
Right. I just wanted to be
Yes, ma'am.
clear what
Yeah,
it
what
was.
it
I
was.
appreciate
Yes,
it. I
ma'am.
make a motion that we approve
I second it.
item G8. Thank you.
Second
Get
it.
that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Deborah, did you get that?
And then H1,
I second it.
Kathy made a motion, David seconded.
If you read the emergency items, number 1, the contract with Mr. Nick Albanese, it's in very much conflict from a item on this document. So I need some clarification on, it says here he was hired by Miller Middle School, and then on our emergency items.
Different person.
It's
His son.
that was hired at Miller Middle School.
I was so confused, all right.
I can see where that could be
Okay.
confusing.
That's so
You're a
shocking.
senior. Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense. So we'll talk about the emergency items for the other one. Okay, so thank you for the clarification.
it took me a minute to figure that out. too.
I've asked to,
Takes a
make a
detective.
motion H1 to approve H1.
Takes a detective to figure that stuff out. I second the motion.
Did we have a motion made?
Oh, I did.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, now it's time for, let me get to the right spot, to go into out of regular session into emergency session. We have,
Item 1.
so we moved that one. Okay, contract with Mr. Nick Albanese for the 2017-18 school year to continue his work with band programs district-wide.
And I will say that, I know in the budget meeting, we had talked about that with the budget constraints, I didn't think we were going to be able to keep this
Right,
position,
and
but.
Yeah, we
it has-
did. Yeah, that was in my budget.
Okay.
And that was contracted services, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was left in there.
There's so many other things that we need. I'm just not sure why the band directors who are paid to do the band duties, why they need this.
It's kind of like a
Especially in-
district football coach or a
Yeah,
district
yeah.
soccer coach.
I'm just not gonna,
Well,
he
I got-
doesn't get paid anything.
Jane,
Nothing. He doesn't get any money.
I got an opportunity to see him at work with the new band director that was hired at Miller, Stroman, I think it was, and the service he provided, I mean,
Well,
it was
to that
great
band
there
director.
with him. I don't know if the others needed him, but
I
this
met
was
I
a
met
new
with Mr.
guy.
Albanese back when we were doing the the budget discussions, and I asked him to provide for me a list of things that he did, basically to justify his position, and I'll be more than happy to supply that for you if that's something you'd like to look
Yeah,
at.
because I've talked to a couple of band directors, but I'm just not gonna support it at this time when we're in such.
And by the way, we do budget for Mr. Pignato.
He doesn't take money.
I understand that, but we
I
you
know,
we
but-
set aside money to
I
pay
know,
him.
But he doesn't take it.
I understand, but we are trying to be
Support the
equitable there.
arts.
Yeah.
Right.
I just know that
We need to make a motion on that.
the whole time I was at Palatka High School, our band director never got help from anybody. I mean, I just don't know when that became important.
Well, how many,
No.
just out of curiosity, how many times did Palatka High School go to England
Yep.
and international? Okay, I didn't think so.
IHS did.
IHS did.
Jane,
I'm not, my point is, and not to be, I guess it was a little smart alecky, but
Yeah.
my point is that Nick Nick was to, it was something that the superintendent at the time, I believe, had the goal, and they had the goal of trying to help the other high school band directors come up to that point of, maybe where they were at Interlochen High School, pretty advanced and excellent.
And
You know,
now, oh, excuse
So
me.
they had jazz competition and different things, and it was, you gotta admit, when you think Interlochen High School, you don't think about a state championship football team, you think about the international award-winning band.
But that's Interlochen.
Yeah, but the reason he was contracted with in this particular instance was to try to simulate or emulate
Well, it
the
hadn't worked.
program. Well, if it hadn't worked, then that's up to I'm certain the superintendent will let us know as soon as he thinks it's.
Well, and let me just say this, not only has he worked with individual schools, but he actually set up district-wide or county-wide performances and has set up, competitions with our bands out of, with other districts. So he does do more than just work with one particular, school. So he does try to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because
We're not gonna support
I
him.
know in the past that Interlochen High, they've always gone to Troy, and now I notice Crescent City is now in on it.
They
And
have a
they are
remarkable
sending
band
students there. So Nick is all around, but you were gone when this position came about. No, you were no longer at Palatka High when he started going in and assisting.
I know when it started.
Yeah, okay.
I know.
And then too, if the band director says, I don't need you, as far as being in my school personally doing it.
Yeah. Okay, that's.
I would just ask that when, like that kind of thing, and this late in the game, like, it's like the budget's been done, it's
Yeah.
gonna be approved. I feel like budget hearings, and we've tried in that specific position when the superintendent has his budget wasn't mentioned, but I actually thought it was cut when we saw them.
I know,
So,
I
but
thought we
it's
talked about
kinda
it.
late in the game to say, but if it's already been budgeted for, correct?
You need a motion to,
Yeah.
so we can
Budget
vote it
for it.
up or down?
Yeah, so that's something that I feel at budget hearings, we would address as soon as possible to notify people.
Yeah.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion passes. And then the second one is consultant to provide leadership training. Justification, explanation, time sensitive.
Is
I have some
there
questions.
anything, that, could we,
Yeah, I've actually, we've met with an individual to come provide training for not only our leadership team, but all of our principals, and very reasonable price. And she's gonna meet with actually contact and talk with each individual principal, and basically help to improve their leadership skills.
will it be a continual thing, or just kinda like a one-time, or will she offer support in the future?
My understanding it's gonna be continual support,
Okay.
right?
Okay, so this
For
is
this
for,
price.
so this is for your administrators. This is not for teachers or potential
These are
future
for
administrators.
current administrators.
Current
Right.
administrators, okay. And then it's open to all of your principals?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I had a concern,
So-
how will the participants be selected? And I
Yeah.
thought it was teacher-based, future administrators.
It's gonna be during our actual principal meeting, so.
Okay, so it's not gonna take them away from, it's not for assistant principals as well, it's just.
I believe it's just principals, just during our
Okay,
principal
so the
meeting.
assistant principals will be on site to run
And
the
that's-
school.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And that's next Thursday. Could we say, I mean, is there something in the contract that weather permitting, or, I mean, just something that we could say, if we
True.
approve today and it's next Thursday and we need to reschedule, I
I
don't
think
want.
she's very flexible about that, and she
Okay.
certainly would understand that. She's in Florida as well, so she may have some issues over.
She may reschedule.
Yeah.
Madam
Okay.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Oh,
All in
so-
favor?
Aye.
I think Kathy seconded it.
She did. Motion passes. We'll go out of emergency back into regular session. Discussion, unfinished business will be discussion, input, and action on providing a $140 check through the accounts payable department to each retiree that still has our life insurance.
I gotta say, this has become such
Did
a
you see
nightmare.
that?
Such a nightmare. Now, there's people opposed to doing this. I don't know what other option we have, having gone ahead and passed what we passed, maybe unknowingly, but
Yeah.
we still did it.
Again,
what
early
concerns
warning.
have
We
you-
didn't give them
Yeah.
any warning that
Right.
it was
And I
gonna
talked about that
quadruple.
today.
So,
And, I mean, and this is just for this year, right?
yes.
Well, we do have a 3-year contract with Unum, but it would be.
Right, but as
But-
far
but
as
they-
the
But they
board,
know now to plan for that.
And they've been sent a letter giving them another chance
I'll give you a brief update.
to get back in the group.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was, they were asked to do that, I'm sure they did.
Of course, we had some new retirees come on, so we currently have a total of 762 retirees. If all of them were to take advantage of it, that'd be 106,680, which is a little bit more than we have at that, in that savings pot. But we currently have 495 people who are taking advantage of it and want the money. So that's $69,300. We have 106 people that say no and they canceled it. And we have 161 that we have not heard either way. They did get another letter. They were told that the letter had to be postmarked by last Friday, which was August the 31st, I believe, and we are going to give them until Friday the 8th, since we had the holidays, to have time, just in case they did postmark it by last Friday, give it a week to get in here. But currently, we only have 495 retirees who plan to take advantage of it.
How many?
495, and we haven't heard from 161. If those other 161, if every one of them came on board, that'd be another 22,540, and there would be enough within that savings pot to handle all of those.
And have you given them a deadline by which they
Yes.
must tell you?
Their letters had to be postmarked by last Friday, but we're giving them a few days for it to get into our office with the holidays and everything. So as of this Friday is when Tammy will cut it off, and if something comes in wrinkled and crinkled and we still see a postmark date of last Friday, we'll go ahead and do that too. FMBC said they would work with us on that, but in our office, we're going with this Friday will be the last date that we turn in paperwork.
Okay, one last question, please, Rhonda. You said how many canceled. When we sent out that letter saying, look, we're gonna give you back that $140, did anybody say, oh, okay, I want life insurance again?
15 so far.
Thank you very much.
Do we need a motion on this, Madam Chairman?
Yes,
Need a motion?
don't we?
I make a motion, we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is approved. Okay, no new business, so it's time for board member reports. Who would anybody like to volunteer to go
I will.
first? Okay, Ms. Jorgensen.
Okay. First thing, I'd like to ask the chair to request executive session for the purposes of negotiations as soon as possible.
I would like to make that request now.
I also think that our board attorney probably needs to be there, so.
Okay.
We actually have one scheduled for October 3rd. We hadn't sent the notifications out, but we do have one scheduled for October 3rd unless you want to have one before then.
I mean, you're meeting with the union, or you have already met with the union?
We're in negotiations.
You're in negotiations. I think you need to talk to the board.
I believe to request that, and we talked about that, we need a consensus of the board to request that meeting, is that correct?
Yeah, one in advance of the October 3rd meeting.
Okay.
next meeting? September 19th? Or do you want us to
September
consent?
19th would be fine.
Okay. I won't be
And so
here,
we're
but y'all do it
talking
without me.
two.
You sure?
I'll be in
At 2.
Canada. Yeah, I'm sure I won't be here.
No, I mean,
Nick, you said the 19th?
Well, that's the next board meeting, if that was what you would want to do.
Is that soon enough?
well, yeah, it's I don't know. Does anybody understand my point here?
Yeah, I know what you're saying
They're
exactly,
gonna go
and,
with
but I
negotiate,
know,
maybe spend hours and hours and hours and hours, and
We
then
don't
come
know
to the
anything.
board and we can say, no, we don't want that. Well, we want that, I mean,
I will say that they're doing a lot of the language and not so much compensation yet, from what I was told, as far as, they haven't met, there's been missed meetings, the solar eclipse and things like that. I don't think it's as far, because every time I've asked, it's been, well, we're still trying to get some more feel for the water, and then bring it to you all.
It's common, it's not, it's common for them to meet and confer and to bounce off language and to bounce off what they want and what we want. And the board, through the superintendent, has given directions on, we have this that we can play with and this is it. And it can only go to in so many different ways. And then they'll come to us like on October 3rd and they'll say, this is what they want, but we didn't feel like that was best. Or what do you want us to do? And then that's when we get down to, no, we're not, if we're gonna give money, we want it to go there, or if we're gonna do language, we want it to go here. And that's kind of how it works. I don't know how you would keep the board continually apprised after every meeting, because a lot of this stuff, it's in closed session and it's bound by
So would the 19th push them,
collective bargaining.
Maybe because they're not gonna meet.
We like October 3rd, and if you guys vote and it's consensus that we come back, we'll do as the board advises.
because if it's gonna pressure you and you not come back with what is possibly in the best interest of all, I just don't wanna push you to be ready by the meeting on the 19th.
But all he's gotta be ready to do is listen.
I'm not getting ready for anything. I mean, when you,
We could do it after this meeting and say what we want. I mean, there's nothing to
We
say.
could go into closed session, yes, but I mean,
We got budget.
Just to update
I
you,
think they would update us if we.
we have been meeting on a regular basis. I feel like we're making a lot of good progress, working with the union and the management side. We are bargaining in good faith. We would like to update you on October 3rd because we have several meetings scheduled. Hopefully, we will be close to finished with our language. At that point, we have several things that we're working on right now, and then we can bring you up to speed of where we are. If you would like to do it sooner, we can share with you where we are, but we would like to be able to bring you a more complete package at that time on October the 3rd.
I guess it's me. See, I'm looking at it from a whole different lens. I'm looking at it where, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, you need to listen to us.
Yes, ma'am.
To understand what we want and don't want. You don't, I mean, it's always like, well, this is what they want. They bring it, this is what they want. What about what we want? It's a contract. It works both ways. And everything is up for grabs this year. The entire
Yes, ma'am.
booklet that we have, I think I'm urging all board members to please look at, so that, and it's online somewhere, or it's in digital format.
Yes, ma'am, that's the purpose of the executive sessions, and we had the first initial executive session.
Right, and I do remember it was in June, and you kind of said, what do we want to be discussed? And we kind of said here and there, but maybe since it's been 4 months, we may have new ideas we want to add. I don't know. I mean, is that something,
I think the big idea here is to get through the things that were already requested, and then come back, and then in the October 3rd meeting, if you want us to go back and look at additional items, that's
Requested by
certainly
whom?
appropriate.
When we met with you all in executive session.
as June maybe? I remember
I
we,
didn't know that.
yeah, it was brought to us.
I know that Mr. Modell will communicate on behalf of the bargaining unit, and on behalf of management, the superintendent would communicate what board members give him. And that's traditionally how it would work, and we would get updates from you guys like Kathy wants. And I guess our next one would be October 3rd.
October 3rd's fine if nobody else cares.
As long as we can
I'm all
get
for it.
things settled, maybe around Christmas, we'll probably be all right.
Not don't care, Kathy, but it's just, they're saying that we want to give you a more complete packet.
Idea
and
of what they
then-
want.
Yeah,
Right.
of what they want.
It is
Okay, all right.
good faith bargaining, and it's part of the process.
And you just said, if we want it the 19th.
If you want us to do it
Jiminy,
sooner, we'll be more than happy to.
Okay. All right. So, you're gonna make a motion?
But again, is it something that we could just bring to you on an individual basis? This is something I'm concerned about. Thomas hears from me all the time.
I would.
And that's why I said that needs to, be done officially.
Charlie.
Yeah, but I know it's just.
Charlie should answer that question, in that anybody
best
that
for it to
brings
be
something
filtered
from
through the
management
superintendent.
probably needs to go through the superintendent. Because then
He's
we'll
our
all,
negotiator. The
Yeah, we-
superintendent is our
yeah,
negotiator.
we would all be willy-nilly asking them different stuff, and it would just not
Yeah,
be
yeah.
coherent.
So if I have some concerns, I'd send it to the superintendent.
Yes. I'm not the board attorney, sorry, Charlie.
It's always best for the board to meet as a collective group
Right.
as well. And for these particular types of substantive issues with negotiations with the union, they're required to be handled in executive session, which is private. But if there are other ancillary issues that you have some concern about, it would not be inappropriate for you to surface those with the superintendent.
So,
I'm not gonna argue over this one. It can be October 3rd.
I make a motion. We need a motion. I don't think we do we?
No, we don't.
No.
Okay, okay.
No. And I'll be here October 3rd, unless I get stuck in.
Again, though, I would like to please urge my fellow board members to go over the union contracts,
And
plural.
it's on our website?
I don't know if it's on our website.
Is it, Mark? I haven't read it
Okay.
in a year.
Click on employment, under the staff services, employment, and then have place to the instructional and classified contracts.
Okay.
Yeah.
is there a revised version that's already been working, a working document that we could see ahead of time instead of executive secretary,
In board
session?
docs?
Yeah, is that something that would be
It's-
possible, or
it's-
there's no,
What do you want to see again?
a working document that's already been changed, or, not changed, but proposed changes?
They're in collective bargaining. I
Like
don't
in
think
board
that's.
dollars.
I don't
Okay.
think-
Can't publish
You
it.
can't
Okay.
publicize that.
TAs, no.
All right,
Okay, yeah.
so we don't know what they've talked about.
Did you have anything else?
Yes. I'm in favor of Nick. We don't do enough to support the arts. We don't. We can't. We don't have a lot of money. So Nick Albanese, I'm from Interlochen. He made us famous as far as worldwide famous, and he is fabulous. And if he can help our bands all over the district, I just wanted to say that. He really,
Well, and the only
It's
reason
fabulous.
I thought that I opposed it was because I thought that when we met in our budget
I did too.
meetings, that was one of the things we talked about, when we were trying to tighten our purse strings, that we talked about eliminating that. And I'm fine, as long as he's helping every school equally.
Yeah, it was budgeted, yeah.
Okay.
We kept it in our budget.
Well, I just remember us talking about.
It was
cutting it.
discussed, but it
I
never was
must have
cut.
Been talking or something during that part. But, as long, as long as Nick is helping every school equally,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think he's earned his dime then.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that.
Okay, and that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay. Ms. Gilliard?
I just want to say kudos to the Ron Dennis team, Coach McCool, Ben Bates, and all of those that put together Friday evening's performance, leading into the game with, it wasn't Yulee, Ponte Vedra, I think, yes, Ponte Vedra.
The shorts.
The flyover was fantastic.
Oh, it was awesome.
The American flag, the families were there. Coach Cooper had a 90-year-old aunt there that got around better than many of us. I mean, it was great, just everything. Our military personnel, because Ron Dennis did mention that he does not recall that stadium officially, but he had every branch of the service there,
It was
and they were
beautiful.
escorted by members of ROTC from Palatka High. It was just
And they played that branch
Yes.
of the services
Yes,
anthem.
if they were
I sang
the Navy, they had their music. It was just fantastic. And then the proclamation that was presented by the mayor to the Cooper family
And that
and
was
to Coach
beautiful.
Bennett, every bit of it was just.
And Joe Hull, they recognize him, one of
One
our
of the
longtime
players.
principals.
Yes.
Yeah.
48
Played
years.
in the
Played in the
first
first
game.
game.
1948.
Ever in the
48.
stadium,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Put his leather helmet on and got on that
Yeah.
field.
Yes. And I just thought that was great. I wanted to mention that. I did have an opportunity to visit CeeLo, and I've already met with Mr. Chastain regarding something that they mentioned that they needed, but they're doing some great things, as all of our schools are, and they're making the most of what they have. And so I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you, Ms. Gilliard.
You're welcome.
Mr. Buckles?
I want to reinforce what Ms. Gilliard said about the dedication I was so impressed with the ROTC students, the VFW, every entity that participated in that, and I have asked the superintendent to consider, on behalf of the board and himself, thanking everyone who participated in that and pointing them out and showing snippets of what makes Palatka and Putnam County a great place and a great place to live. It was certainly an overwhelming experience. I haven't seen Coach Cooper's wife in a long time. I haven't seen Coach Bennett in a long time, and it was just really a unique experience. Coach Bennett got me up beside Mayor Hill and tried to say Mayor Hill needed to be a tackle now. He's not quite as slithering as he was when he was a quarterback, but
Slithering, I
yeah.
don't know about that term.
He could get around. He could move. But anyway, I just, Rick, I would encourage whatever school tab or whatever thing you do to try to do something to honor. If it's a full page, all these kids, the groups, these young people, the band, all of them were just tremendous.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you.
Thank you so much.
Was that recorded? I saw Mr.
Yeah.
McDaniel there.
Sure did.
Well, it would be great if that is played, because we do have people that watch the board meetings, that will watch these things, and it will give them a sense of pride as
Yeah.
well. Yes.
I don't know if Mike's in the back, but yeah, he definitely recorded that.
Okay.
He did, yes.
It
that
would
out
be
there.
neat to run it occasionally.
My next topic, while I have him here, is I attended the Unity rally that Mayor Hill put on at Price Martin a week ago, and I was very pleased with his rhetoric and his attempt to not only delineate the history surrounding the harder times when our nation came of age, and particularly in the Florida and the South, and right here in Palatka, but he brought it up to date, and I was overwhelmed. There were numerous committees formed to study how we can do a better job, but I have to tell you, I saw a quote he had in the paper today about the police officers and how supportive it sounded of him and how he feels. I've seen what he's done with our ball fields here in town for our young people and all he does with our kids at Palatka High. And I may fuss at him sometimes for being a lawyer, but that's what lawyers do. But he loves, no, he fusses at you when you get, you're the object of one of his lawsuits. But he's certainly lived up to the expectations that I think many of us had of him when he was a young man at Palatka High. And Terrell, I just want to congratulate you. We have one of the most tolerant, I think, cities in the state of Florida. And if people don't believe it, they need to come here and spend a little time. Do we have problems? Sure. But I mean, we're getting through them and we're working through them. And I'm just go around and look at these old ball fields. If you haven't been to Booker Park, you need to go there, get these things rocking and rolling, and give kids something to do in after school hours. And it's just wonderful for our city. Negotiations, I would like to say, I understand what's going on. I want to really tell Mark Modell I appreciate you being open enough a while ago to allow us to continue the vote on the memorandum for the agreement to pay these bus drivers. Sometimes we do get wrapped up in, and rightly so, in form over substance, but these people have earned that money, and I think that was a wonderful gesture, and if something's wrong, we'll get it worked out. And beyond that, everything I see, school's going wonderful, and I hope you guys are ready, because if we get on, it won't be up to us, the superintendent, to make the call on opening shelters. It'll be up to people who are already on the way from Key West, I'm sure. So Rick will probably apprise us of that shortly. That's it, Jay.
I would like to say that along with the Florida Healthy School District, I was able to take a couple groups to Palatka High School and also Crescent City High School to eat lunch and enjoy our amazing nutritious lunches. They were absolutely astounded. The mayor of Crescent City, the police chief, a couple other, the newspaper came, and it was a great day to showcase our nutrition and the kids that really enjoy lunch. We were hoping to do Price on Friday, but maybe with the weather we'll reschedule. But I just think the positive of kids really eating lunch, nobody could believe it's all free. It's all free. So it's something, if you have a chance, go eat at one of the high school lunches. It's impressive, and price is very impressive from what I hear. So that's an exciting thing, and I'd like to congratulate Dr. Shelby in being named the principal of Crescent City. He was open arms to welcome the community members, wants to do a lot of outreach, which I was excited about. So look forward to some Senior of the Month and great achievement awards that are in high school level, but sometimes they get looked over as far as we do middle school and elementary Student of the Month. So it's exciting to have the mayor coordinate with the police chief and the high school at Crescent City to bring those great people together that care about the youth and want to make a difference. So I appreciate that collaboration, Dr. Shelby. And the last thing down there that I can't, my phone rings off the hook, that's not a great thing that Thomas Bowling hears from me every single day are the buses. If you guys know anybody, I'm not kidding, I've actually recruited one that got started today, bus drivers. We're 15 allocations short. We cannot transport kids without drivers. It's that simple. I want it on the front page. I want critical need area. I mean, this is something serious because kids are waiting on the side of the road, waiting on a bus. We don't have enough drivers. This is a reality. I don't think the board members, maybe you don't have as many phone calls as I do, and parents that are upset. It's a serious need, and it's not something we beg drivers, and I asked him to borrow drivers from Interlochen and Palatka, get them down to South Putnam. So again, it's something that he's working hard. I know the management team is realizing, but I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because it's a huge need. It is a critical need. 15 empty allocations that have been fully funded that we have no one to put in those
And
seats.
actually, we've done a promo where
Right, a video, yeah.
video where we will pay their training costs if they'll sign
Exactly.
up.
That's why I said fingerprinting $75. These people may not have this money up front. Pay it. You know, I was just, again, I've been in Rhonda's ear and Thomas's ear every day. So appreciate your patience. But it is something that I was very passionate because I don't like seeing kids sit on the side of the road without a bus coming to get them. It's very upsetting to me. So
You drive?
I wish I could drive a bus, and I've thought about trying after all this because it's so. I hate seeing those kids. I'm gonna load them up in my van, and they'll be.
It's scary.
Yeah. So I appreciate all your hard work, and please keep it up and try to get more drivers. Thanks.
Okay, I just have a couple of things. I too would like to say how wonderful the program Friday night was, and I just, although Coach Cooper is no longer alive to be with us, he was such a wonderful man. Many of his family members were there, and it was great to see them. But I was so thrilled Coach Bennett is still alive and that he was able to be there, and he won't say it, but he's absolutely thrilled about that honor. I had the opportunity to be in a meeting this afternoon with the superintendent and his staff about our hurricane preparedness. I think they're doing a great job. Our shelters will be manned, and they are doing that in the most expedient way possible. Their work with it's not DOC, what is it?
EOC. Yeah.
You know, they have a open line with them, and whatever they tell us to do, that's what we'll be prepared to do. And I think it's going to be scary unless it weakens. Another thing I want to mention, I have talked to several people at several schools about the bullying packets, and I don't know when that came in, when that started or what, but they're working. In the several instances, I talked to the teachers and the guidance counselors about that. Some real bad situations were diffused because of these bullying packets, and I'd like to see one. I've never seen one. So congratulations to whoever's idea that was.
Travis Weaver, he gets credit for that one.
Travis, I want to see one. But thank you so much for working on that. I've heard really good reports about them. And that's all I have. Attorney
Could I just interject one thing?
Yes.
I just remembered Friday night, J.T. Stout, the principal at Palatka High, did mention that for the month of August, they had not had not one fight.
Not one fight.
And by
That's
this
like
time,
really
you know, the
unusual.
first part of the year, they would have had several, but he said
Knock on wood.
they have something going on, and evidently it's working, and so we want to do what we can to support them to make sure that it
Miss
continues.
Gilliard did say at the next ceremony she would skydive.
Well, I've seen her break up fights. They don't want her out there.
I thought you said they couldn't shove you out of a perfect good airplane. did they?
They can't. I'm not getting up in one.
Okay, Mr. Douglas?
The Campbell Building, we still have some prospective purchasers looking at it.
Oh, good.
Call came in today to the realtor, as a matter of fact. But otherwise, everything is going well in the legal department.
Dr. Sorensen?
Matter of fact, Mr. Galloway just handed me a note.
He's here?
Yeah, he had to leave to get back, preparing for the storm. But he said they just showed it today, and to yet another prospect. But there's another group that he's shown it to twice, who is very interested in it, and they are supposed to make a final decision later this week. And these are pretty serious buyers. So again, don't want to get your hopes up, but that's something that's pretty promising. So I'll let you know as soon as we hear something. I do want to update you on, first of all, Representative Yoho, our U.S. representative, contacted me and wanted to meet with me and the board. And I told him that we would need to advertise that meeting like a workshop. So I want to run a date and time by you to see if this is workable for you. A week from Friday, which would be September 15th. And I'm going to suggest 1 p.m. here in our boardroom. Does that work with everyone? We'll advertise. Yeah, I'll advertise that, and
9:30.
I think you just want to hear from us. So we'll go ahead and set that up, if that's okay with y'all.
15.
You mentioned the update on Hurricane Irma. Myself and several of our staff members attended a meeting today, a conference call at the EOC, and from here on out will be updated daily. So, but today, I did find out just moments ago that we've been updated to a level 1 preparedness status, which is the highest level of preparedness for our district. So it just means that everything's in gear now, getting ready to weather the storm. And, you know, we will update you as far as soon as we can when shelters will be, if we're requested open shelters. We are having a meeting with our principals, and I've talked with our city and county manager, and county administrator about them assisting us and helping with the shelters. So they've been more than happy to do so. We are having a meeting here, I believe Thursday afternoon about 6:15 after our update at the EOC. And, you know, we're taking this very serious. And this is a Category 5 storm, and we've got to be ready for whatever it brings us. Anything about school closures or anything else, we'll definitely keep you abreast. We're also, I've talked to our IT team, our media guys, about being at the EOC with us each time we get an update, and we will post an update on our Facebook page. I know we did that last year. Superintendent Criswell did that, and I think there was a lot of, got a lot of coverage with that. People welcome the news.
Parents appreciate it.
Yeah,
Sure do.
so we're definitely going to do that as a public service and update people as soon as we get information. Just a reminder, tonight is college night at PHS. If you get a chance to stop by, it's going to start at 5:30, I believe, the social is for the whole county. Yeah, and I believe we're busing in people, right, from the other schools. So that's going to be a valuable resource for all of our students. Finally, just want to congratulate again. I just got word today from Dr. Coleman. We were awarded $75,000 for Title III grant. So we're continuing getting. Can you update us on what Title III covers, Laura?
It's an ESOL. It was a competitive grant. We
Right.
get Title III dollars that are, they just give them to us. This was competitive, but it was $75,000 extra dollars for training for teachers and paraprofessionals that work with our ESOL students.
Very good. Thank you. And I just want to encourage you. I know some of you have been in our schools already, but I encourage you to go visit our schools, make contact with the principals, and see what's the great things going on in our schools. I was in an elementary school last week, and this is the last thing. I went to a school, and they have alternative seating, which is kind of neat. Actually, at Browning Pierce.
I've been reading all about that.
And to go into the classroom, these kids don't sit in desks. One's sitting in a bathtub, one's sitting on a cushion, one's sitting on a balloon.
Yeah.
Some are sitting on the floor with the table lowered, and every one of those kids are engaged in learning. So if you get a chance, go by and look at that.
A lot of research
And where
on
was
that.
that?
We used to call those learning centers and
Yeah.
stuff like
I
that.
need to stop in when I'm walking
They're-
in the morning.
They do
Yeah.
some neat stuff. Kids love to get in the bathtub and read, yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Our meeting is adjourned.
Well, we've got the
No.
hearing at 5.
Don't we have to go out of
Yes,
this one?
we do.
Okay. Meeting adjourned.